I'm James Massiah, and I'm a poet and DJ from South London. I started writing poetry when I was really young. It's great for me. Something cannot exist and I can kind of bring something into existence. I think I'll always write poetry, and I think I'll always read it as long as there's an audience who wants to hear it. I guess it's central to my existence at this stage. Culture to me is a collection of ideas, views, inspirations, creations, the things that any kind of given set of people do or make. That is a culture. But generally speaking, there are movements that kind of happen and they kind of shift an idea of what a culture is. And those kind of big shifts really do kind of govern how brands work, how organizations work, and how people in a society work as well. I think the idea of youth culture is interesting because I guess it's the idea that this is what young people are into based on what they've experienced and what they create and what they want to see. Youth can be defined maybe in two ways. One way that's relative to someone's biological age, but then also it can be to do with an individual state of mind, the way they carry themselves, and their general outlook. I think in our culture, there's an understanding or a belief that people who are of a certain age are meant to act a certain way, but that isn't necessarily true. It's tricky for a lot of brands, people, parents, people who are trying to understand what their progeny are into, what they want. It's constantly shifting. People are constantly shifting, and as technology changes, as politics changes, it's going to alter the way that younger people are going to want to behave, and what they're going to demand from their society, from their governments, from their families also, and from the brands of people that serve them, the products that they use. But I think it needs to be looked at more specifically, because it isn't that every young person across one particular country is into one kind of music or has one kind of taste, but maybe there's like the idea of like a mainstream understanding of what youth culture is. And I guess because people can only act on what they know, brands are really going to only see the kind of top line stuff, if you will, and any kind of deeper research that they do is still going to be influenced by the kinds of people that they're able to access. And so there are subcultures that exist outside of the glare of the media that people won't be aware of, that brands won't be aware of. When it comes to like a kind of common thread that runs between myself and those who are closest to me, I think it really is a kind of shared, on some level at least, a shared cynicism in the kind of the principles that govern the world around us. There's like a kind of shared distrust for authority and for the status quo. And it is almost that kind of unease about the way that things are that kind of brings us together and leads to us wanting to kind of change those things. It's your life, it's your world, and it's up to you what you do with it.